next tool is super cool. And the next tool is down here, and it's this healing brush tool. There's also the clone stamp next to it, but we're gonna focus on the healing brush tool. And what you can do is, now this is not a very high quality picture. I took this with my iPad just a second ago. So because it's lower quality, you actually don't see a lot of the imperfections of my beard right now. But what you can do and what you'll still see is, if you notice these imperfections here right on my cheek, what you can do with this tool, which is really cool, is I first want to select how big I want it so I can manipulate my size. And then the hardness simply means, does it have a softer edge or a harsher edge? I usually like to have it have a softer edge. So here it says, for the spot healing brush setting, it says sample all layers and use pressure for size. I want to say yes for pressure for size, and on this particular instance, I only want to sample the current layer, so I'm going to leave that off. In the future, you might want to do multiple layers. So now all I have to do is literally brush this, and notice how it effectively tries to fix things. Now, the challenge with this is when you don't have a ton of good pixels, sometimes it can be a little bit of a guessing game. But the benefit of this is, of course, it allows you to basically clean up things or delete things. And what it's trying to do is basically take all the pixels around it and fix those. So let me show you how that works. So for instance, if I have a blemish, let's say I have a blemish right here and a blemish right here and here. Okay, and there. Now, you could try to just erase it using the eraser tool, but watch what happens. If I erase it, what you've actually done is destroyed the picture, and I've gone through the pixels, and those little checkers you see behind those are actually blank pixels. That's what that's trying to show there. So instead of just erasing, which destroys the image, I want to use this spot healing brush tool, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because I know this is a really localized thing, and I'm just going to tap that and see how it literally just blasts it away. And what it's doing there is it's saying, okay, what are the pixels around this and what do those look like? And I'm going to fill this circle in with those pixels. For that reason, if we get kind of silly here and go with a big one and go right between my eyes, it should sample parts of my eyes right between it. So let's see what happens. Let's make it nice and big. I don't know what it's actually getting there. It's like a cheek or something. Yeah, it's just pulling cheek. It's not even grabbing eyes, which is interesting. But you'll start to notice you can almost see some different parts that get reproduced. Like right here, you can see that this is actually this part of the bridge. And so what it's doing is it's trying to move those pixels over. Now that's kind of frightening looking, and obviously you wouldn't want to end on that. And of course, we never use this for reasons that are not for the purposes of appropriateness in class and all that stuff. But the really cool thing is if you have those spots, or if you shoot images of a client and they have, you know, some temporary acne or something, it's really a good way to clean that up. Now, the rule of thumb for fixing things, because fixing can become kind of relative, is when you fix something, you only ever fix it if it would be gone within a week. So that's kind of the rule of thumb to make sure you're not crossing any ethical boundaries. So for instance, if this is acne, I am well within that kind of rule of thumb to fix this, because I know that a normal acne, normal zit or something is going to go away after a week. However, if I'm not happy with like this wrinkle right here, generally the rule of thumb is you wouldn't fix that. Now, of course, a lot of fashion magazines don't pay attention to that, but that's really the ethical rule of thumb that we use in the class. So just be cognizant of that when you do it. But otherwise, it's a really cool tool. The clone stamp tool is a little bit trickier, and you basically target an area and then you can paste that area somewhere else. So here I'm actually pasting this over to the right. So I target one area, my eyeball here. I target that first, then I can paint that over here. So see, it actually takes the eyeball and it paints it over onto another area. So I target something, I use the target on the left, I can do my lip area, and then I can paint my lips up here. And you see that target kind of moves around. And what it's doing is it's painting that exact same thing. So that's the clone stamp. Again, something to play around with to give it a shot.